Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Victor sessions. Victor is a virtual international consortium for truth research. I'll be moderating today. My name is Joe Ulatowski, and today we have Masaharu Mizumoto from Japan Advanced Institute for Science and Technology, who'll be presenting very briefly. Hopefully you've read his work already, which was distributed to you. But he's going to present of his paper, A Prolegomenon to the Empirical Cross-Linguistic Study of Truth, followed on by some discussion. Take it away, Masa.
Okay. Let me first thank all the organizers of this series, Victor, people in Victor, for giving me such a great opportunity to present my paper. Okay, so let me start by, is this okay? Okay, so as you know, this paper is very long. I'm sorry for this. So I try to make it understandable for you. Yes, first, let me just skip the section 1. And I think the section 2 is very important. It explains what the cross-linguistic alethic disagreement. This is like this is the situation like this. Speaker of language L1 says some sentence is true, and the speaker of language 2, L2, says that's not true. S2 is not true. But S1 is a correct translation of S2, and there is no ignorance or irrationality is involved on either side. So it's purely a disagreement about linguistic norms due to the linguistic norms. So the question is whether this kind of situation is possible at all. So let me call this type 1 clad. In one kind of possibility, this person, speakers of L1 says both sentences are true. And the speakers of L2 said both sentences are not true or false. So as in this situation, this type of clad is consistent with truth conditional semantics. Okay, so here I explained what linguistic alethic pluralism. So if this kind of situation is possible, then it follows that this kind of pluralism is true, which is a variant of pluralism about the concept of truth based on the data about truth predicates, where the extension of truth predicates varies depending on the predicate. So this is this kind of pluralism. The question is whether this kind of pluralism is possible or even makes sense. Okay. There is also there is another type of clad which seems to be consistent with monism about truth, which is the situation like this. What is said by S1 in a particular context, C, is true according to predicate, truth predicate in language 1. But that is not true according to, S2. What is said by S2 in the same context is not true according to the truth predicate in language 2. So but they S1 is, but here the S1 is a correct translation of S2 in the pre-theoretic conventional sense. So given this kind of situation, we may think that only the content is different and the truth predicates are the same. So this situation, if so, this situation is compatible with monism. However, if we think that the contents of these sentences are different because of the truth predicates, respective truth predicates, then that's a, yes, pluralism. Okay, so according to content hypothesis, yes, using the same truth predicate, you judge differently S1 and S2. What is said by S1? What is said by S2? And respectively, differently. So this situation is also consistent with deflationism. If we talk about the deflationism and the inflationism in this context. Okay. And we shall, in this paper, we shall explore the possibility of clad empirically through examining the possible instances of type 2 clad. Though inflationists may not like the idea of interlinguistic synonymy based on pre-theoretic practices of translation here, assumed here. This is based on the pre-theoretic conventional sense. They are correct translations of each other. And that kind of conception of meaning may not be acceptable for inflationists. But anyway, if this kind of clad is possible, then they can dispense with the such meaning, and you just reduce the type 1, reduce this kind of situation to type 1, so that that is the sense conception of meaning is compatible with inflationists. Okay. So the summary, let me give this summary for you. Type 1 clad, for both deflationists and inflationists, type 1 clad entails pluralism. However, in the case of type 2, it may not entail pluralism directly, but may be consistent with monism. And that is for deflationists option. Okay. Now let us go to the study 1. Let me first explain that there are two Japanese truth predicates. At least there are two Japanese truth predicates. One is shin da, shin de aru. The other is hontou da, hontou de aru. And this is a little bit formal, not to be used in ordinary conversation. And this is more colloquial. And but however, the antonym of this predicate is uso, which is lie rather than falsity. So this truth predicate is a little bit different from the English is true. So my first hypothesis was that maybe shin should be more like English true, and hontou may be very different from English is true. Okay. Now I used the following vignette to examine the ordinary people's responses to the about the use of the truth predicates. Suppose there is utterly no correlation between the appearance and the intelligence of a person. Susan is smart and beautiful. Tom says about Susan, she is beautiful but still smart. Now, is what Tom said true? This is the result. There is a large, very large difference between English true and Japanese shin. And there is also significant difference between honto and shin. Honto is closer to true, but still there is significant difference between them. Now, of course, you may think about the possibility of pragmatic difference, pragmatic effect. Maybe the effect is conversational implicature. If so, it should be cancelable by providing an appropriate qualification. So in the next study, I used the qualification. The utterance is true, though it is an inappropriate way of putting. And the utterance is false, straightforwardly. Now, in this study, there was some difference, there was some increase in the answer, yes answer, but still the difference remained. This may not be enough to cancel the effect, conversational implicature. So at this moment, I will put aside this pragmatic account. Now, Morton says that is correct and is right among truth predicates counts. They are both also truth predicates. Hereafter, I use capital letter truth predicate. Now, the counterpart of is correct in Japanese is tadashi. So I also use this, these two, is true and tadashi to examine the same, using the same vignette. And yes, in this study, the result was also amazingly different. This was completely opposite of the English is true. So, and this difference, the effect size of this difference is amazingly large. Okay. So also, maybe we can check the interlinguistic variance. Shin and honto is effect size. This effect size means 0.3 is medium, 0.5 is large, 0.1 is small. So more, at least more than very, yes, medium, or respective, each of differences, interlinguistic differences is at least larger than medium effect size. Okay, so we have interlinguistic variance here. Now, one hypothesis about the effect above is that Japanese are particularly sensitive to some norm violation involved in the vignette above. So, but there may be two kinds of norm here, linguistic norms and moral political norms. And yeah, think that only one of them affected the use of English correct, which both of them, while both of them influenced the use of all Japanese truth predicates. So one straightforward way to examine this hypothesis is to use an utterance which involves the same linguistic norm violation without moral political non-violation. So I use the following vignette. Tag Heuer is a Swiss watch brand whose watches are generally very expensive. But John thinks that Tag Heuer is a cheap brand from somewhere in Asia. So when he saw Tom's Tag Heuer and had heard its price, he said to Tom, "This is Tag Heuer, but it's very expensive." Now, amazingly, the effect completely disappeared this time, both for truth predicates and the correctness predicate. So it seems that moral political factor has affected only Japanese truth predicates. And this effect was extremely large. So, have we shown instances of CLAD? Or have we also shown LAP? We have at least shown the empirical possibility of CLAD, because the effect of moral political factors may look pragmatic. However, as you know, in the case of the Nove effect is the typical famous effect of moral political factor, moral political effect on people's judgment, but it's still open that it's the difference, the huge moral asymmetry was due to the concept of intentional action. So it's the difference here we have may still be semantic. Also, we have seen that interlinguistic difference, that if we are right, because of the interlinguistic difference, we can rule out the content hypothesis. Therefore, we have to take the predicate hypothesis seriously, and therefore, maybe pluralism is true. At least the possibility is real enough. So let's assume that linguistic alectic pluralism is true. Then we have implications, philosophical implications about relativism and also theory of meaning and deflationist-inflationist debate. So, yes, this is the end. Yes, I welcome your comment. Thank you.